and welcome to another episode of Dos Nav Cincos. This is episode number 112. This week in our movie of the week, we cover The Contractor. But before we get into it, as always, I'm your host, David.
And I'm in the championships, baby. Woo! Let's
and
go.
I don't care.
As we had previewed previously, Ben has gifted one player for pretty much every team that was in the playoffs. So.
All right, so David, what did you watch this week?
I watched. I don't remember.
You watched me take down Evan.
Oh my god!
I watched Eric also squeak by. So this is championship week for our fantasy basketball league. Stu, are you feeling nervous at all?
I'm just happy to be here. I honestly don't know how I made it this far. My team is garbage. Like if you look at my team, you would never pick up like half of them. So like, I don't know.
Sure you would. Jokic.
No, I'm the other half stupid.
Chris Middleton, Chris Paul, Bobby Portis.
Chris Middleton is trash. He needs to. I'm not gonna.
You could drop him.
I'm gonna drop him if the season's over.
Which one?
He's a fake all-star. The only reason why he's an all-star is because Giannis is an all-star.
So he's all-star adjacent.
Yeah.
Let's see. This week, what else did I see? But whatever. Ben, what'd you watch this week besides our movie of the week?
I gotta watch a Netflix movie called The Bubble. Did you all hear about that one?
I was thinking about watching that one. I didn't get around to it, but it sounds like just from that noise you made that I shouldn't.
Oh man, it is movie of the year.
Oh,
let me tell you.
Then I guess I should watch it.
If you hate movies.
Oh, well then I guess I won't watch it.
So the movie of the Razzies.
If you hate movies that are the best.
Wait, which one is it?
It was pretty meh. Okay. The only saving grace I thought in the movie was pretty much Pedro Pascal. That was about it.
But this also has Keegan-Michael Key, right?
Yeah, no, it's surprising actually how many cameos there were in this movie. You know, I guess very well. Do any of you have any interest in seeing it?
Well, I mean, not after
the premise, but I don't think it's going to ruin anything.
Okay, well, the whole premise of the movie is a group of actors are all scrunched together because they need to make another blockbuster movie during the pandemic. How does that go? Oh, they have to film in a bubble. Great. So that's the whole premise of the movie. Now, there's just a whole bunch of different cameos by different actors, actresses out there. Who was in it? John
Pedro
Cena was in it.
Keegan-Michael Key, Leslie Mann.
How do you know?
Oh, that's right.
He was in the credits?
Yeah, they just say his name. You're right. I didn't actually see him.
Fred Armisen, Karen Gillan.
Yeah. Who else was in it? There was what's his face? James McAvoy was in it for some odd reason. As James McAvoy. Daisy Ridley was in it.
James McAvoy.
Yeah, James McAvoy. There's a bunch of random weird
Kate
cameos.
McKinnon.
Yeah. I mean, the movie in itself was just, I don't know. It really did feel like they didn't know what they were doing, and they just kind of plopped some people in front of a camera, like, all right, do something funny. Come on. We still got an hour and 58 left on this. We got to get some laughs in. And they try to take it from there, but it didn't work out too well. Probably like a 3 out of 10. I don't know.
Have you ever seen Windfall?
Windfall? No, I have not.
That's also a Netflix thing.
That was the thing I mentioned the other day with Jesse Plemons or whatever.
Ooh, Plemonade.
Where he's like a tech mogul and some guy like.
Oh, okay.
Gets into his house and.
Well, now I have to watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, but there was one other thing. There was one other thing I did watch that kind of upset the balance.
Moon Knight?
Was no. Well, I mean that too, but
Jujutsu Kaisen.
I see. It's you guys. It's you guys. That's it. You're the weebs. I'm the odd one out. I'm not the weeb of the podcast.
We didn't invite him.
Stu doesn't understand you. You have to say in Japanese with subtitles.
Yeah,
uh,
subs over dubs.
no, this is Dub City, Dub Edition. um, I got a chance to watch Everything Everywhere All at Once, and this is really hard, really to say because it's like, I might say that this might be my favorite movie of all time now. Like,
Wow.
What?
yeah, I know.
Even more than Speed Racer.
That's what I said afterwards. I literally coming out of the theater. I'm like, get out of there, Speed
I think
Racer.
this is our final movie podcast,
Yeesh.
if that's the case.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
mean,
I
riding
think
that
you might be
tail.
prisoner of the moment there, Ben.
I
don't
might
know.
be. I'm gonna watch it again soon. So
Speed
I
Racer?
need to make sure it wasn't a fluke. Yeah, Speed Racer.
Maybe what you should do is you go in the theater to watch it again, but have Speed Racer up side by side.
And see which one, and then see which one takes up more of your attention.
Yeah.
Okay. It's funny because I did watch both of them in IMAX, and I kind of had a similar feeling from this one, going like, "Wow, I'm really glad I watched that in IMAX."
You got nauseous?
No, nauseous from excitement.
I threw up first at the credits, and then threw up first at the previews, and then threw up in the middle of the movie, and then threw up after the movie was over. So excited.
I mean, they're just. I want to say like this is literally the most batshit crazy movie I've ever seen, and all of it works. You know, it was just really, really, really fucking good, and it was really funny too. I don't know. It's like I haven't had this much of a visceral reaction from a movie, like a good visceral reaction, in a really long time. So I don't know. I feel like I'm part of a cult now, and I've been trying to recruit people trying to watch it. I even called my sister, who I rarely talk to, and was like, "Hey,
Called my
I know we
sister, who
barely
I
talk."
hate.
Yes, I know we don't talk often after the incident, but have you considered
When I-
watching Everything Everywhere
Have
All
you
at Once?
Have you heard the good word about Everything Everywhere All at Once? No, Ben, now get off my front porch.
But if you tell two people and I tell two people, but it was a really good movie. I can't stress that enough.
You better hope you're right, Ben, because you're hyping this up quite a bit.
I know I am. I actually did do that for one of my friends. I said this might be the best movie I've ever seen. He's
Dune?
like, I don't think so. And then the next day he messages me. He's like, I need to see it again immediately. I'm like, all right. So I'm trying to see it with him again and again and again.
Sir, you're gonna have to buy another ticket. You can't just sit in this same seat.
Oh,
for
I
all of
claimed
our
the
showing.
seat.
You don't want to know what I've done with it.
I've marked the seat
What about
as
you,
mine.
Stu? Did you see anything else this week?
Yeah, I watched Death on the Nile.
Oh, on HBO Max because they
Yes.
just released it, right? What were your
Yes,
thoughts?
Yes. Well, I gotta say, I think I mentioned this before. As I have low tolerance for movies that excessively use green screen,
Ooh.
and this was one of those movies.
Mm,
But I also like whodunit movies, and so I kind of powered through. And once you get past like the bulk of the movie that's like egregiously green screened, it's fine. It's like a fine, another, if you're looking for one of those kind of like little mystery movies. It's pretty much the same as Murder on the Orient Express. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like it's the same thing.
Oh, but it's not as charming as like Knives Out, right?
No, Knives Out is definitely way better.
Okay.
As like a top tier whodunit, I think.
Okay.
What about Scooby Doo on Monster Island?
Well, that's obviously the gold standard. So
this weekend, well, I guess if we're gonna keep the trend going, on HBO Max, they brought back King Richard, so I watched that over the weekend. I thought it was okay.
I don't know. It's gonna take me a while to be able to wash the taste or the sight
slap out of your mouth.
Not the slap. See, the slap don't have a problem with so much.
Well, keep Will Smith out of your mouth.
Yeah,
it's that easy.
It was the part where he like sat back down and started screaming from his chair. That's the part that kind of breaks it for me.
But here's the thing: is that that same man that you saw at the Oscars screaming at from his chair is the same guy that he plays in this movie.
Oh, so he's just still in character then.
He's channeling his inner Richard Williams.
He doesn't drop character until he does DVD commentary.
I guess not. He's still recording the extended uncut edition
I see.
of King Richard, which
There's
is
actually going to be a deleted scene.
coming directly to Target at the end of April.
Yeah. But yeah, I wanted to watch it, but then now I'm like, it's going to take me a while to get that.
Because you want to be able to separate the incident from the actual telling of this story.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to. I'll just have to just take a break from Will Smith for a while.
And then I started watching Winning Time. Stu, did you?
Damn, I need to start watching that.
I'm only 3 episodes in, but it's actually pretty good. I don't know too much about like the actual story about it, but I'm assuming that obviously they've taken some liberties, but I feel like they're probably pretty close to it. I had no idea that before Magic got drafted by the Lakers, that Jerry West was still the coach. I didn't even know that.
Oh.
Yeah, I was very, very shocked by that particular fact. And I was like, wait, how did Pat Riley? So I'm at the point where they've just introduced Pat Riley. So that's like about 3 episodes in.
Not to get too far down a sports rabbit hole here, but I remember watching a thing about the Lakers Celtics rivalry thing
on ESPN, right?
Yeah, and it was like, what I didn't realize was that like Pat Riley was not even like a basketball mind. He was more of like a business guy, I think, from what I remember.
That's how they're
so he wasn't like some renowned coach. He was just like a guy who he had that that he looked the part and somehow managed to
weasel his way in.
He failed his way to success, I guess. I don't know. Kind of like my fantasy team right now. Sorry,
was it the Magic and Bird or was it the Best of Enemies?
I can't remember.
The 30 for 31? I'm sure there's like tons of them that they got released.
It was a multi-part thing, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, it could be a couple of those. But yeah, no, I think so far they've done a pretty good job. The only thing is I don't know who I would have wanted to replace John C. Reilly as Jerry Buss as, but
Will Ferrell.
No. Eric,
I don't know. But something about it just doesn't fit. But I think everybody else is fine.
He's like, I can't not see Steve Brule doing this.
Would it have been better if they just recorded John C. Reilly and then every camera cut is just between him and Will Ferrell?
They
playing
every other scene they're switching.
Yeah.
Actually, the one thing that they did, and I'm sure if Stu, if you start watching it, you'll notice that they do this like it's not a jump cut. And I don't know, Ben, if there's like an actual like technical term for it, but what they do is in the middle of a scene while two characters are like speaking to each other or interacting, it'll jump to like a different perspective, but it's not using the same aspect ratio or the same. It doesn't even look like it's from the same camera at all. It looks like it like jumps to like almost like a handheld camcorder style thing, and I'm just like, I don't know what is the point of that. Do you know what they're trying to invoke?
Well, I mean, I guess it would be something to kind of set you into the tone of the time period, right? Like, when did this take place? Like
the 80s.
Yeah, so just something like that,
But the only thing is the entire TV show is already shot that way, and they just decided to make it even more grainy. I was just like, why was that done?
Maybe they're splicing in actual footage.
No, that was not the case.
Well, I can't help you then.
Yeah, okay.
Is that when they splice in Will Ferrell? You just never notice because it's so grainy, but it's actually Will Ferrell.
Guys,
we ran out of footage. Just plug in some Will Ferrell stuff. Just turn up the filter on the graininess. Nobody will notice. It'll be
fine.
This
Anchorman? Did you just splice an Anchorman? That's Step Brothers.
Sex Panther. All right. Anything else, guys?
I'd be excited though for that show, which I should start watching. If at the end they like do like a Marvel style, like, oh yeah, we're gonna take a look at this kid from Philly, Lower Marion High School. We got our eye on him. That'd be cool. and then it's just Kobe punching the
THT. Oh,
Oh, I was gonna say it's Will Ferrell playing Kobe.
Oh God.
yeah, that was in poor taste.
There's tasteful blackface, all right?
Oh my god.
It's done tastefully.
I guess we could. Let's see. Do we want to talk about that at the box office right now? We can. No, just talk about it now. Did you guys follow the Grammys at all?
No, I don't follow
Okay.
the Oscars, but I don't follow the Grammys.
So one of the things that came out of the Grammys yesterday was best comedy album was won by Louis C.K.
Nice. Okay.
And a lot of people are upset that 3 years ago there was, several women came out saying that he had masturbated near them, and of course he came out afterwards and said yes, that is correct, and he kind of went dark for about 2 or 3 years. And so I guess this is a signal that his career is back, but all the careers of all the other women who had accused him have not kind of resurged at all. And so everybody's coming out and saying cancel culture doesn't work if you're famous and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, the guy went dark for 4 years.
Yeah, he was gone for a long time.
So relevancy, the fact that he went back and built up
he had a show for God's sakes,
which got canceled because of that same reason. So I don't understand. I'm trying to get an understanding from our youngest person on our podcast, Ben,
our Zoomer.
Yeah, is the point of cancel culture is that once you've been canceled, you can never exist ever again? Is that the point?
Yeah, Ben, as the proprietor or the founder of cancel culture, can you?
No, I'm just curious. I don't really understand it too much. I know that in the moment, there's this there's a lot of electricity and heat that's generated from the fact that oh, so and so did something really, really bad. Don't support this person. I completely get that. But then where does it end? Does it just we never are you never allowed to let this person rehab or come back at all? There's no chance of coming back at all? Is what is that?
I don't know. Are you gonna next ask me how to rebuild a 1979 Chevy Nova? I mean, what's next? I don't know these things. What?
Well, the next
am I
thing is
the subject expert? What?
Well, Ben, as the youngest person who probably knows a lot about cryptocurrency, how do we mint an NFT?
Oh, okay. So what you do is you just send me your social and your bank and your routing numbers and your mother's maiden name, and I'll give you this frowning
NFT
panda
of my social security number.
No, it's an NFT of a sad panda riding a taco.
I would buy that. But yeah, I'm just curious on what your guys' take is on that. Is there? I'm pretty sure we're all probably in agreement that dude, eventually at some point, you kind of have to let somebody have a chance to come back. What Louis C.K. was supposed to just start working at McDonald's for the rest of his life because he couldn't be in show business.
No, I mean I don't. From what I at least on this specific instance with Louis C.K. from what I've heard or read or whatever, as weird as it was, the thing that he did, it was not anything that was done without consent. So the fact that he got canceled over something where there was consent is probably the more egregious thing. But usually, I feel like cancel culture, when that term's thrown around, it's somehow applied. It's used when someone does something that doesn't really necessitate them being canceled, but they're canceled anyways. They do something that's
in the court of public opinion.
Yeah. So I feel like that's where this whole cancel culture. That's how I see it. When someone's gets canceled, it's because people didn't like what they did, even though there wasn't really anything inherently wrong about what they did. But I mean, it's not for all cases.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think for us that's not really something for us to maybe commentate on. But I was just kind of curious what your guys' feelings were, if you guys had heard anything, or if that was something that you guys kind of agreed with or disagree with, just because that seemed to be kind of a hot button topic, especially since we've had 2 controversial things in back-to-back award shows, which obviously is industry generated, not by public opinion, obviously.
Well, I mean, the thing with Louis C.K., this is going off of what I know, right? Like,
Of course.
he did that thing. Women didn't, from what I read, like women did not, like some of them didn't consent to it, and it was like, yeah, did that. But like I said, I don't know like the whole story. I'm not like so invested in this thing, like digging like deep into the archives of like timestamps and like figuring out date and time and places and all that. This
It's
is
a
just
Zapruder film.
this is just based off of like surface
you're
level reading
Right.
and
Yeah.
headlines and all that shit. But all
It's
I know
almost
is he got canceled.
Yeah.
However, like the fact of the matter is that he garnered so much poor public image that he got canceled. That's what happened. Just a backlash of the public image, and people just did not want to support his properties or
Yeah.
whatever he was
Yeah.
producing. And I mean, if people start liking him again, they're gonna watch his shit. So like that's how it works, right? It's like, if people really think like, okay, yeah, this guy is a heinous dude, we're never gonna support him again. They're never gonna support him again with their wallets. I mean,
yeah. That's that'll be where it's decided.
yeah, I mean, that's how people kind of decide. Like, is he canceled or is he not canceled? They're just gonna pay him, right?
Oh. Yeah, I guess there's just some people who just expect that, like, whenever you do something bad, that you're just going to be crucified
It's
for.
gonna be disappeared forever.
Yeah, and then you're just going to be gone. I'm never going to hear from you again. Thank you for playing. But like, I think it just reminds us that like even celebrities and people who are public figures, like entertainers and stuff like that, they're people too, right? Like they should have a chance at redemption. I don't know what that really looks like for the most part. I don't know if anybody recently. I mean, I guess some of them just kind of fade into obscurity, kind of like Chrissy Teigen, let's say, for example, right? She got somewhat canceled for a lot of the stuff that she did, and you just really just don't hear her name anymore, right? We all know that she's married to John Legend, but I don't think nobody really mentions it very often anymore.
Wait, what did she do that got her in trouble?
She was bullying some other. That's as much as I know, is that she was bullying somebody else over Twitter and over some DMs and stuff like that, and that was leaked in the same way that what's the name of the guy who got into it with KD?
Everyone?
Yeah.
Everyone?
No, that
Every
the one
fan of an
comedian, I
opposing
forgot, Michael
team?
Rappaport. Michael
Oh,
Rappaport,
okay.
sorry. And Michael Rappaport
He's
leaked
not
it.
Canadian. He's Boston.
No, I said the comedian.
Oh.
Not,
Canadian.
yeah, I know he's not Canadian. Trust me. If there was wait, which comedian's Canadian?
Jim Carrey.
Okay, close enough.
Seth
Yeah,
Rogen.
Jim Carrey got into it. Katie, you heard it here first. But yeah, no, like I feel like, how long do you think it'll be before we stop hearing about the Will Smith stuff?
I don't know.
Another month or so.
Well, as long as you keep bringing it up, David,
Yeah,
I don't know.
talking about it. Dude.
Oh, so I'm the one who keeps.
You're literally the only one right now bringing it
Excellent. Then I'm
And
just going
now-
to keep bringing it up, so that way I'll be known as the guy who keeps bringing it
up.
up.
Will Smith guy.
And number one at the box office is just
At no, so okay, we'll just jump over to box office rundown since that's pretty much where we're heading at this point. At number one, a slap in the face to the Lost City, is number one Morbius with $39 million. Is that good enough? Was that a good enough plug?
For Morbius?
No, for the slap.
Oh,
wow.
Wait, what slap?
Damn it. All right. Number two, The Lost City with 14.7. Number three, The Batman with 11. Number four, Uncharted, 3.6 million. Number five, Jujutsu Kaisen no the movie, 1.9 million.
Wow, you just had to bring it up again, David.
What? It's on the list.
Oh, it's on the list, guys.
Dude, if I say it at least 3 more times, I'm pretty sure we get 50 cents. All right. Number six, Triple R with 1.6 million. Number seven, Spider-Man No Way Home in its 16th week in the top 10, 1.4 million. Number 8, Dog, 1.3. Number 9, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Woo!
And number 10 is our movie is X with a cool 1 million. Dropping out of the top 10.
To say our movie was X?
No, I was gonna say it was number 6 and it's dropped down to 10. Number 11 out of the top 10 is Sing 2. And our movie of the week this week, The Contractor, with a cool
top 10.
560,000. Well, I mean, it released not only to theaters, but also released directly to
Amazon.
was it Prime, Amazon, but it was for rental, so we don't have those numbers, so
I
we have
see.
no idea. But I highly doubt it's probably not $560,000 worth of rentals. Any comments, questions, concerns?
I had something and I forgot when you
Nope.
said it.
Sorry.
Something about like spot number 3 or something.
Number 3, the Batman,
No, 2 maybe.
the Lost City.
No, 4.
4
Oh,
is Uncharted.
it was Uncharted. Why is that still in theaters?
It's only been out for 7 weeks. It's been only a month
That's
and a half.
like 6 weeks too long.
It's Tom Holland, right? We have 2 Tom Hollands in the top 10. One of them is clearly boosting the other one. Because I'm sure in the trailers for Spider-Man No Way Home, if you haven't seen it by now, it's already on Blu-ray.
Is it?
Or
And it's
yeah,
still in theaters? Wow.
Yep.
it's still in theaters. I wonder, did we have a movie last year that lasted like 4.5 months, 5 months in the theaters?
Didn't
If
Lion
it was probably Disney.
Frozen 2. Was it
Lion
Frozen
King?
2? No. Was it that one?
Lion King was in theaters for a real long time, I remember.
I'll have to double check that. But yeah, that's nuts. That one's still going.
That's a lot of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts.
You want some nuts with that?
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Ben, did you get a chance to catch any of the other movies that were nominated for Oscar films, or did you kind of just end after last week?
I still need to watch Coda, and I still need to watch Drive My Car. Drive My Car is going to be a bit of a difficult one because I think that one's like literally 3 hours.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. But then after that, you'll have watched all of them.
I think so. Well, I'm not going to watch Belfast because I have no interest in seeing that. But yeah, everything else still need to watch it.
I was listening to some other guys like podcasts, and they really loved Licorice Pizza.
Yeah, I liked Licorice Pizza. I watched it with Letty, and she did not. But
What
it
about
was-
Stu when you watched it with Stu?
Oh,
you
when
like
I
it?
watched it with Stu, he loved it. He would not stop talking
on.
about licorice pizza. Let me tell you, that man loves licorice pizza.
Yeah. My favorite part was when they put licorice on the pizza.
On the pizza.
And they're like, "Would you like to bite this licorice pizza?" And credits roll.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, they said the title. Oh. And I was so happy.
Okay. All right. Let's move over to our actual movie this week, The Contractor. Stu, you haven't done one in a while.
I haven't.
Yeah. So tell us about it.
All right. I forgot his
James
name.
Harper's the name of the guy.
Would you let me fucking do this? God. All right. I don't remember his name, but Chris Pine stars in a not so action-packed thriller where he's a former special forces guy chewed up and spit out by the army and has to make ends meet. But how's he going to do that? He doesn't have any real-world job experience aside from killing folk. So what's he going to do? He's going to become a contractor in the movie The Contractor.
Wow.
Starring Chris Pine.
And that
Okay,
other guy who's like, I don't know his name,
Kiefer
but I've seen him
Sutherland?
in other movies.
Kiefer Sutherland or Ben Foster?
Ben Foster.
Was he Screech?
What? From Saved by the Bell?
Yeah. Or was that a
No.
different guy?
Screech is like didn't he become like a porn star or something?
Wait, did you just say we watched a porno? Did I watch the wrong movie? Because I'll rewatch it. I'll take one for the team if I really watched the wrong movie.
No. The Contractor's a different. That's a different movie.
I mean, I'll do it. You know what? I'll do it. I'll do it.
I'll watch
trying to-
Screech's porn. It's fun.
Actually, I was interested. There's actually been a number of films with the same title.
Man,
There's
a Wesley
apparently
Snipes one.
Yeah, the Wesley Snipes one. There's also a one that has Danny Trejo in it, also called The Contractor. But I think that's somebody who actually builds buildings.
Wow, why? Because he's Mexican.
But
There's another
I had it
contractor
in
that
my
one.
head when you said that, and I just had to say it. Sorry.
I knew it. Well, I set you up. I tossed
Okay.
you a softball.
You set me up to get canceled, is what you
Yep.
did.
Yep. Now it's just gonna be Dos Cinco's.
It's okay. I got Mexican friends. I can say
Wow.
that.
Just Chris Sanchez. You quantify, right? There's also the Contractor, 2007. So I don't know. Are these all? Are we just doing remakes of the same movie, or is they all different types of contractors?
Well, I think Danny Trejo is more of like a drywall and baseboard, while Wesley Snipes was more of like your hardscapes and your your lawnscape, landscape kind of stuff. Chris Pine, is more of a builder, more of a ground up kind of. I don't know,
Because
David.
no, I'm like looking at. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4. 2002, 2018, 13, and then
Oh,
2007.
it's the CMU. It's the Contractor
Cinematic Universe.
Cinematic CCU.
Well, because I'm looking at the oldest one that I can find, the '07 one. That one's the Wesley Snipes one. Ex-CIA agent James Dial is asked to take out terrorist Ali Muhammad Jahar, only to realize he's been set up by his former employee Jeremy Collins. 2013. Let's see what this one is.
Oh wow,
Elizabeth
Danny
Chavez.
Trejo is
Oh,
actually
that
a
one's actually
contractor.
building. Yeah, Elizabeth Chase is busy remodeling her home with her husband and daughter. She hires a contractor, Javier, to help. But soon Elizabeth starts to grow suspicious of Javier and learns that he's targeting the family all along. I actually want to see it. I'll probably end up seeing that. And then the 2018 version of the Contractor, a group of young international military fighters join with their tough veteran leaders to protect a young boy whose family was murdered. Now they must figure out who are the good guys and the bad guys before they all end up dead. So 3 out of the 4 movies are all ex-military, and then one of them actually is about a contractor who is out to kill family members.
Yeah.
But
Killed
all right.
him with his outrageous estimates.
I can get a guy who'd probably do it for half that. All right. Ben, thoughts on The Contractor 2022?
Well, I mean, um, it really felt like the whole premise of the movie was, come on, Morty, it's gonna be a quick 20-minute Rick and Morty adventure. In and out.
In and out.
And then, Chris Pine, his face really just says it all throughout the film. How it just was just bad decision after bad decision. Just kept digging this hole deeper and deeper. And by the end, it really was just Rick and Morty just screaming inside of a spaceship. So there was that. I don't know, like, Stu, you kind of touched on it a little bit in your synopsis, how it's not really an action movie. Like I feel like there were like action sequences in here, but
It was action adjacent.
yeah, it was action adjacent. That's a good way to put it. I'll cover it a little more in the spoiler section, but there's just some action sequences in here that I was just staring at in disbelief, because I'm like, this is the equivalent of them doing Star Wars and saying, just wave your arms around, we will fix it in post, And the worst part is, I know I have probably said this in other reviews where I criticize action sequences for using that shaky cam footage, right? To like kind of mask like, I don't really know what I'm doing with the action scenes, but it's going to make it look a lot more exciting. I actually probably would have preferred them to shake the camera up and down, because now you can see in full view that there is nothing going on in there.
They got the world's steadiest tripod.
Yeah. Now, that's not to say that, Chris Pine didn't do a good job. I thought, he did a pretty banger job for what he was given. It's just that everything else was just a pretty ripe pile of shit. I want to say it's a pretty middle of the road for me in that sense. I want to say it's like a 5 at this point.
Yeah, I am in pretty much 100% agreement. It started off, with interest, promising, and probably it's been done before, but it started off with a promising kind of
Premise.
concept, premise, guy getting forced into doing kind of private military work after getting kicked out of the military essentially. And it's like, oh, okay, he's gonna go off and do some some pretty spooky stuff, some pretty clandestine stuff. But then we got a little bit of it, and then yeah, the action scenes felt pretty hollow, for like the couple that there were, especially the ending. That was like very kind of
Anticlimactic.
anticlimactic for me.
Mm-hmm.
um since I'm kind of like looking forward to like this big kind of almost extraction slash John Wick style kind of movie, and that's not really what we got. But I do like the two actors. I really I like because that other guy, I forgot his name already.
Ben Foster.
Yeah, like he's been in like similar. I feel like he's been in other movies in a similar role, and I've always liked him in those. Um, and I liked him in this one too. It's just I just feel like the act. It couldn't decide if it was wanted to be like an action movie or some kind of spy thriller or something like that. So yeah, I'm pretty much the same score. It's a 5.
For me, it's a 4. I
Hmm.
I don't know. It feels like this was a good. This would have been a good movie if they had condensed all the stuff that happened in in the hour and a half, and they made it 45 minutes, and then actually tacked on a real movie at the end, like for the second act. Like this is a good buildup, but then you kind of just are left at the end really disappointed on this entire buildup of all this kind of like twists and turns, and then it's over. Like it's not. I don't know. After I watched it, I was like, man, this is such a letdown because I felt like we saw the great stuff in the all the best parts in the trailer, um, and that kind of told you everything about what was in it. We also got very little of Jillian Jacobs, but I also couldn't stop seeing her as Britta.
Oh, Britta's in this.
Did you not see the movie?
No, that's a lot. Never mind. Never mind,
Oh,
David.
sorry.
Yeah, you
Ruined the
should be
bit.
sorry. You're sorry, piece of shit that didn't recognize her.
Well, I'm sorry
I
that we
don't
had
get
to
it.
watch this.
Well, yeah, but of course you wouldn't get it, Stu.
Oh, she was in Community.
Yeah.
But
I still need to finish watching that.
Oh, it's a good show.
yeah.
Actually,
It was good for like the first season and a half, and then it started to get too, I don't know. I didn't feel like it was the same. But anyways,
oh yeah,
that's
I
the
mean
But
that's definitely a valid.
so that's why it kind of got me. It made me stop watching it.
The Contractor or Community?
Yes. No, I watched all of the Contractor, but I didn't
I feel like
finish.
it's pretty accurate. I mean, for a spy thriller, I was really thinking we were gonna get another like Tom Clancy, Jack Ryan, um, type of film, but he goes rogue, and I was like, okay, that's gonna be cool. And then it's not.
Yeah, it started. I started off like, and when I say spooky, I mean like that's usually like a word that's referred to by when it's like kind of like secret government like kind of stuff, or
Oh,
like
like
CIA or
mhm,
any kind of like stuff
back
like that.
channel kind of
Yeah,
dealy
just kind of
things.
like really kind of like unknown, dark, kind of stuff. So that's when I say spooky, but but because I think a lot of movies CIA people are referred to as spooks. But
Yeah.
that's what it seemed like. We started to get into it, and then in the kind of like the first act, but then, or more like the second act, I guess. But then it just kind of fizzled out and didn't really deliver anything else. So
If it wasn't for Chris Pine, this movie would be like a 2 or a 1.
yeah,
But do you think that this movie has left the door open for a sequel?
I hope not. This I don't know. It was not a good enough movie to warrant like its own little franchise here. So
Yeah, I don't know why he took on this one, but it looks like he's doing a lot of like direct to. Um,
I
That's all.
but
Yeah,
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine.
Yeah,
He's
I
they're
liked him in
about
that
to
other
release a
movie.
new. Yeah, they're gonna release another movie. All the old knives.
Oh,
That's going straight to Prime also.
Oh, you can watch him in Hell or High Water. That's a good one. He's good in that one. It's a good movie, and that's a good movie. So
In this new one that he's going to be releasing next week, two CIA operatives and former lovers reunite at idyllic Carmel by the Sea to re-examine a mission 6 years ago in Vienna, where is it just he's just into like the spy thrillers for a while? Is that what we're
yeah.
getting from him?
He's like, "Oh, Chris Hemsworth is doing Extraction. I want to do a movie like that."
Then
And
do
then
Extraction.
yeah, be like be in Extraction 2 or something with him or something.
Oh, that'd be cool. I'd like to see that. But
Which side note, I think I saw something that Extraction 2 had just wrapped production, so hopefully should I mean I don't know if they have a date already, but hopefully we should see something. Side note, another side note, because I'm on Chris Pine's IMDb page. He's done a movie called Pool Man where his name is Darren Barronman. So
oh, and also an entitled Star Trek sequel. Another one? Oh, and he's doing a movie on Dungeons and Dragons.
Interesting.
Dragon
Michelle
shit.
Rodriguez, Chris Pine, Hugh Grant.
Oh man, this is gonna be like The Bubble? I have a feeling.
Oh, yeah, it'll be like, oh, a bunch of friends try to play Dungeons and Dragons when they're inside the out of quarantine or something stupid.
Yeah, we'll have to pitch that. I don't think that we really need to go into the spoiler zone. I have just one general question, Stu. Of the very sparse action scenes, how close were how was the gunplay in this?
It was pretty good. I mean, it was pretty decent. And it's probably maybe it's kind of more realistic, I guess, in the sense that you wouldn't really see a lot of
Automatic
like that's why I think Ben was saying like he would have liked to see the
shaky
shaky
cam.
cam because like really when it comes down to it, it's just like you're just standing there kind of shooting at stuff, so you're not really like doing action rolls and whatever all that kind of stuff. But
I
you know, it
mean,
was
well, I mean, in the action sequences, well, the one that I remembered quite well was the beginning of them escaping and trying to escape the German police, right?
mm-hmm,
Or
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
and it was just so jarring because it did really seem like the police are over there in a separate shot, and Chris Pine and Ben Foster are over here in a different shot, and they just have no interaction with each other than like, all right, just shoot at whatever, and
Yeah.
we'll like put in some 3D effects of like bullets hitting something. But none of them react to anything, so it's just like, oh, there's a bullet that kind of flew by my ear, but they just keep standing. Like they're not even taking cover, really. They're just kind of standing around and
They're
just like
behind a
bang,
tree.
bang, bang. Yeah, they're walking behind a tree, and it's just like a piece of bullet like hits the tree pretty close to them, and they just keep firing without flinching. It's just like,
I think that whole scene was like one of the reasons why it was kind of not done so well is because it seemed like the cops had all of their attention on these shadowy figures in the woods that they couldn't really see. But
yeah,
there's this lady on the
In a
street right
van.
in front of them,
yeah,
just shooting indiscriminately at them with an unsuppressed weapon.
yeah.
So it's like,
Between the door jam
yeah,
and where the
between
cart
the
is, okay.
bulletproof door jam,
Yeah,
and
it's that's a flawless gun
yeah,
position,
it's
okay.
like so they're focusing on this darkness in the woods instead of like this lady who's just shooting with a full fully automatic unsuppressed weapon while they're shooting suppressed weapons, so their shots should not really be detected that well. So yeah, that was kind of like a weird thing. um, Although I did like how it was just like kind of unceremonious and how like one of the guys was just like, oh, I'm hit, and then like boom, he's dead, because I
Yeah.
feel like that's kind of how it happens. Like if that were
Mhm.
like it just kind of happens, it's not really like some big dramatic thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
um,
I did appreciate the pacing of it. I guess
yeah,
it just kind of goes. They don't
yeah,
really like focus on anyone like screaming out in pain, like
yeah,
it's
And
just
then
like,
yeah,
oh shit,
Ben,
he's
Ben
hit.
Foster's character like kills the truck driver, right? So that way she doesn't get
yeah. She
captured.
doesn't. Yeah, so she doesn't. Yeah, get captured and everything.
Hmm.
So I felt like that exchange was really good. The only part that I felt like we had to suspend a lot of disbelief is the fact that Chris Pine's character has a bad knee, and then all he needs is 24 hours to get back up, and he's starting to walk like normally.
Well, I think he said that to him so he could go off and do his own thing.
Yeah.
Because I think he was suspicious maybe of what he
But
was
remember,
doing.
like some of the moves that after he escapes
Hmm.
the underground water tunnel thing, and then he thinks he sees something, or thinks he sees somebody, and like he like gets really low to the ground really quickly and smoothly. And I'm just like, dude, the guy's got a bum leg. I really feel like
Yeah,
if it was, I don't know, but obviously I'm not Chris Pine. I'm not a
strapping
ranger,
young lad.
right? Neither is he. He's not strapping. I think
No,
he's
that's true.
well, he's not young.
He is
Right. So
strapping, but he's not young.
where like I would have thought he would just collapse to the floor is the only way that he would be able to stay out of sight and stuff like that. But then
He
as
should
soon
have.
as
He had a torn ACL. What the fuck?
exactly he doesn't though. And then remember when he's about to get extracted and then they turn on him and then he's running. That like okay,
That
I
was
understand
stupid.
adrenaline lets you do a lot of stuff and so do painkillers because cocaine's a hell of a drug. But how is he able to, in a full sprint, run across an uneven surface on a torn ACL?
Yeah, like there's a difference between like not having the strength to do something and physically not being able to do something because your body doesn't have the function to do it.
The ligaments
Yeah,
anymore.
like you tear your ACL, you can't fucking like run because your leg will just like
It
turn into
sounds
a
like
free spinning thing.
some of you're speaking from experience, Ben.
I think Ben's done that
I'm
before.
speaking from experience.
Hey, you whippersnapper, take a seat and I'm gonna tell you how it's done. So that's the part that like helped that kind of like made me kind of keep dropping it. Like I understand what they were kind of going for, but some of the scenes and the things that they were doing, like I was like, you're selling it too much to me. But I thought that the twist at the very end where they're like, oh, they're sending us after each other. I didn't know that, and then he called the safe house and all that kind of stuff. I thought that was great, and I thought that was going to salvage the movie, and we were going to get some retribution. And we got what? How long was that gunfight at the end? Maybe
It
three
was.
minutes.
I thought it
Yeah.
was really dumb, just like strategically from
Yeah,
these
you just
guys.
go head in,
Yeah, like this guy. These guys are like supposed to be,
ex-military,
special
right?
forces guys, and what he does is he comes
Gets
out
in
from
the
behind his
truck
cover and just start, very slowly advancing on the person who's firing at him
in the
from
house.
cover.
That's stupid.
And it's like, what? This is just a mechanism to kill this character. This is dumb. Like he wouldn't do that.
You didn't bring
Um,
grenades with you to throw into the window at all, or
or
possibly,
like
or
he didn't
anything?
have like Chris Pine got to wear body armor, but he didn't like under his jacket. So
And then also, like, didn't he run in front of in front of like the truck with the headlights on? So it's like you're giving away your position. You can't tell where that
yeah,
guy's at. So you're
yeah,
just
it was.
blindly shooting. Is that the
It,
training that we're giving our military guys now? Is
no.
just to blindly shoot in the dark and hopefully
No.
you hit your target?
Well, actually, I don't want to get into this whole thing, but actually, yes, almost.
Was it really?
It's I think it's pretty standard military doctrine right now. Anyone who's over there shooting guns or whatever,
Uh-huh.
basically the doctrine is like you suppress and maneuver and call in air and then call in like artillery or air support or something. You're not actually like necessarily like shooting at the enemy to kill them.
But you're
You're
trying to
shooting at
corner them,
them.
keep them in a certain
Yeah, you're
position, and
trying to
then
suppress to keep their heads down while you maneuver, and then
mm.
maybe you can have the shot, or you just call in artillery or something.
Oh,
So
okay. So what he did was still strange or no?
no, it was still strange. It didn't make
Oh,
any
okay.
sense because like he has a hand. He all he has is a handgun. He's getting shot at from a position of cover from like some kind of high powered rifle, and he just comes out from behind cover and very slowly like is like advancing on it while shooting, which is fine. But why slowly? Like why he's just
Right.
presenting a target for the guy. So
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting
he could have just
ex-military.
stayed where he was and kept shooting like kind of
Yeah, buy
indiscriminately
time
towards.
for Chris
Yeah,
Pine
because
to
that
be
was the
able
whole
to
thing. Is
flank.
just
Right.
it was a distraction. So
Maybe he
uh,
was just so blinded with rage he wanted to be the one to take him out.
yeah, I don't know. But then like the Chris Pine fight in the house was like, what was the point of this? He comes in with all this gear, he shoots one guy and then loses his rifle, has to do a hand to hand with this other guy, and then he has his handgun out and he comes upon Keith Sutherland who's
Who's already
dying
down.
already. So Like, what was the point?
And then he doesn't even at least go into like at least a 3. We didn't even get the honor of having like a 3 or 5 minute monologue with him and going, "You shouldn't have done it, man. I would have been here for
I
you,
would have
blah,
done
blah,
anything
blah.
for my family.
Yeah, or this country. You had
Yeah.
to put me in between me and my family." Blah,
It
blah,
was
blah.
just
4
like,
million? Yeah.
he didn't even shoot him in like a good spot.
They didn't even give him 24 seconds.
Wow.
They should have done that.
You know, I was so far detached from this movie by the time the final gunshot gunfight came around. Like, I just didn't care. I was like,
I was already on my phone.
yeah, no, I was. I was like, oh, Kiefer Sutherland's dead. Huh.
It was hard. It was hard to care. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they sold a lot of this movie on Chris Pine's, being a star. Perfect. They gave us a lot of Chris Pine, right? If you're in there to watch Chris Pine, great. You got 95% Chris Pine, but then you got nothing of it out of anybody else. I think we got a total of maybe 6 minutes of Kiefer Sutherland, and then also Jillian Jacobs. We got maybe 5 minutes, maybe, and it was all kind of just fluff. It's just like, see how loving her family is. That's it.
Yep.
Whatever. So next week we will be covering Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Okay. As our movie of the week, as always, I am your host, David.
I'm Stuart.
And I am Ben.
Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you're getting your podcasts. We're available on SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to also check us out on Twitch at twitch.tv/Dos1/2 Cincos. Don't forget to tip your Reiki master. Stay safe out there, and we will see you guys on the next one. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.